We've shown you the extensive video of the paving work to get the resort's corridor ready for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We know that it's a headache Formula One says local drivers won't have to deal with again for years, even with the race set to run annually. So what you'll have to deal with are the closures for the actual race. Every year for the next decade, this entire circuit is going to shut down and reopen each day of the race weekend. On top of blocking the busiest parts of the Strip, that means roping in several resorts on the east side of Las Vegas Boulevard. Today, Formula One showed off one of their solutions to those logistical challenges. Fox 5's Mike Allen took in the demonstration and joins us now with what that's going to look like.
Yeah, Jacqueline, bridges like the one behind me are going to be popping up all over the F1 circuit come November. This one is only a test. It's temporary. It'll be torn down, and then it's going to be built back up again for real about a block away from here.
So what you see here today is a big erector set. We're going to disassemble this bridge, and in a couple of months we're going to actually build it for real on Flamingo Road.
Terry Miller is the project manager for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. He's been overseeing the design of vehicle and pedestrian bridges that'll go over the racetrack.
We don't have a lot of overpasses in the resort corridor that allow traffic to move freely over the main circuit area. So we have to build the overpasses.
Those bridges have to be able to move spectators, emergency vehicles, and Grand Prix employees. They're designed with the same criteria as highway bridges, so the 4 lanes will be able to handle heavy things like buses and emergency vehicles when the circuit is closed. And when it's not,
any other time when we're not racing, it's a public bridge. And we as citizens of the valley can go up and down and move freely around the bridge structure because it is in fact a public roadway.
Miller says there are lots of things that make Las Vegas unique among all other cities that host F1 races. In particular, the amount of people already in the race area.
All of the current existing bridges that go over the top of Las Vegas Boulevard or over Flamingo or over Harmon or Sands, those will all be occupied.
Miller says they'll be putting barriers up along those bridges so spectators don't stand there and create a hazard while trying to watch the race from above. But that's not the only specification they have to meet.
While they can't see out, we have to make sure LVMPD can see in.
So they're using advanced techniques with surveillance cameras and the type of wrap that's put around the 3 or 4 pedestrian bridges that'll be built for this event, one of which will go right alongside this test bridge once it's taken down and rebuilt over Flamingo at Koval. And once that is rebuilt, once that time happens, it actually only takes a few days in order to build it. That's going to happen sometime around late October, Miller estimates. Reporting live tonight, Mike Allen, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Miller says the costs of the temporary bridges have not been calculated just yet.